Do you know what we're here for?
The equal parts. Oh my gosh.
Illegal.
Help! Help! I'm being repressed!
Too much, man!
Come on! What?
Not gonna do it. Wouldn't be prudent at this juncture.
It's a bold strategy, Cod. Let's see if it pays off for them.
In the Ice Age, how much taxes did people pay?
Follow the rich white man.
Consequences.
I'm staying in the race.
Would you drum up?
I made a huge, tiny mistake.
Oh, girl, baby girl.
Don't even play.
Your name, please?
Thanks, Jeff, for the question.
There's no point in you betraying your future self to gratify your present self. It's a stupid game.
There's no point in you betraying your future self to gratify your present self. It's a stupid game.
When I go into the dry cleaner, that dry cleaning place becomes holy.
A what now?
Jesus, I say. Jesus, I say that.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, can't get fooled again.
Oh, another good interest. It's just crazy enough to work, yeah.
So I just want to address something. I was wrong.
Well, first of all, some of the things that I say will be incorrect.
It's a great day for being sad.
This is from 12 Rules for Life.
I don't want reality.
It's science.
Break now.
And now you'll see just how I won that championship.
I see that you know your judo.
Facebook book, Zuckerbucks.
China. China. I have to have my China. China.
Close it up, just like my wife's vagina.
Donald Trump spent a lot of quality time with my wife.
Don't be creepy.
I mean, this woman is dangerous, ladies and gentlemen. Rid of the Second Amendment.
Arguably the greatest work of nonfiction of the 20th century.
Winter is coming.
Cyclone Cheeto.
Don't worry about it, little Margo. Gentlemen. Awful. Weak.
Mm-hmm.
How rude.
Cacao.
Give me a joke. Climate and everything are the same word.
You should be ashamed of yourself for having that thought.
You are fat, you are a joke, you are stupid, you are not funny. You are not funny. I feel like I'm taking crazy pill.
He looks good, and he looks hard.
He looks good, and he looks hard.
Aren't I a good guy?
America.
Where's my hat? Ah, there I am. Okay. Well, here we are once again. Floating somewhere between Earth and space, just trying to figure it all out. Got a hell of a lot for us to talk about here today, so I guess we better get right to it. As always, Space Fams, safety first. Buckle up those seatbelts unless you want to go floating off to that deep, dark void of space. Great to see everybody here on this Friday evening week-ending report. That's what we're doing today. A lot to talk about. Before we get to that, gotta do some shout-outs. Rich P1, Hermit Horologist 2, Charlie Martini 3, Noah Close 4. Who else is here? I'm here. I'm in the chat. Good job, me. Mozart, HBX, Sarah Layla, Shakespeare, Nightbot, The Lucky Minute, Janelle Walker, Will in Detroit, Series, and that's everyone. Okay, good. Oh no, I'm in top chat. Boo. Boo. I'm in top. That's terrible. That's awful.
Awful. Weak.
Well, can't go back in time. Got a hell of a lot to talk about today, like I mentioned. National Guard called in DC this week. It's been one of the main topics of discussion. All because of children taking over the city, supposedly. And beating up poor Doge employees. What else has been going on this week? Let's think. Uh-oh. Something bad just happened to my list. Please hold. This is not cool, man. The galactic deficit text is half hidden, is it? Son of a bee. Well, it's terrible. It's terrible news, but also great modding, prowess, acumen, excellence, high levels of competence coming from Mo and Noah today. Galactic text is half hidden. I will solve that once I solve this other problem that's going on. I had too many problems simultaneously. It's causing me to... I'm having a... Hey, look. Listen. Look and or listen. You are screwing me right now. I need you to stop. I need this madness to end. God damn it. There we go. For the love of God. Okay. Alright, this is where we're starting. So we're on the wrong video. That's a bad start. We have the galactic deficit text. It's half hidden. Thankfully, we have very competent mods here at the Galactic News Network. We're going to be able to solve all of these problems, hopefully. It's a full-on disaster. How did I get this? How did I get?
Badly hurt last night. You
How
saw
did I
that.
get this
President
far?
Trump is threatening to take over Washington D.C. after a Doge whiz
I'm gonna
kid
threaten to
was
take
beaten
over
up by
this
carjackers.
the internet.
The
right
infamous
now. I'm incredibly offended right now. How dare you? You are. Yes, it's my turn to talk. Thank you. Okay. Galactic deficit is very much half hidden. Let's solve that. Let's see. Goal. There we go. See, I have to turn it off of performance mode. It's one of the things I've been using to try and lower lag on the stream. Can I move this? Are you gonna let me move this? There we go. Bring it down. That's too high. That's too high. There we go. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful spot. I love that spot for you. Okay. It's probably lagging. Look at that. There we go. And it's lagging. Yep. It's okay. It's gonna go back. It's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. Do not worry, chat. Just take a moment. Take a breath. It's all gonna be good. Okay. Thank you, Mono, for reminding me that my goal was hidden. That would have been terrible if we had gone on like this. Alright. Let's start in a familiar place that we all know.
Fuck yeah!
America. This was last week, leading into this situation.
Somebody from Doge was very badly hurt last night. You saw that.
President Trump is threatening to take over Washington, D.C. after a Doge whiz kid was beaten up by carjackers.
The infamous Doge Lieutenant Big Balls was just jumped in D.C. The 19-year-old former Doge staffer beaten by a...
The way that Jesse talks about Big Balls.
He looks good, and he looks good, and he looks hard.
Oh my god. Infamous Doge Lieutenant and my idol, Big Balls.
Violent mob of minors.
Edward Corstein, a.k.a.
children.
Big Balls, a name he chose as a joke for his LinkedIn account, was left a bloody mess after cops say he fought off a gang of teens attempting to steal his girlfriend's car.
Who's Big Balls?
Illegal.
Corstein was hailed a boy genius when he dropped out of college to join Elon Musk's Doge squad to cut government costs.
One of our initiatives is to root out fraud and waste.
And today, his old boss is praising his bravery. A gang of about a dozen young men tried to assault a woman in her car, Musk says on social media. Edward ran to defend her and was severely beaten to the point of concussion, but he saved her. Carjacking is an epidemic in D.C., and 51% of the perpetrators are juveniles. And cops say two 15-year-olds beat up Big Balls.
That's right. Two 15-year-olds beat up Big Balls. Two young children, a boy and a girl. It wasn't dozens of it wasn't dozens of teenagers. It was just two of them. Unfortunately, Big Balls' balls were not big enough to prevent this tragedy that befell him.
A year ago, my niece was shot.
The beating is sparking an outcry over violence in D.C.
This is a serious crime a mile from the White House. This isn't a joke.
Tamara Jackam's son, Eric, a 21-year-old congressional intern, was caught in the crossfire of a shootout in June and killed. Now the president is warning D.C.'s mayor, Muriel Bowser, to crack down or he will.
And either they're going to straighten their act out
in the terms of government and in terms of protection, or we're going to have to federalize. And
in terms of government and in terms of protection, we're going to have to federalize it. And they certainly did do that this week, didn't they? I just wanted to remind everybody what this is all about. This is all about children having taken over, supposedly having taken over DC. DC riddled with crime. Because Big Balls was gravely injured in a fight with 2 children. Will in Detroit with the sweet, sweet super chat. Thank you, Will. Galactic Tariff. Motor City Edition. Parentheses, save Gaza. All good things. You got like 3 things in there all at once. It's a real sandwich of a super chat. All right. Now, this was Donald Trump speaking on the day of the announcement of the federalization of Washington, D.C.'s police force. The replacement of the Washington, D.C., the Metro Police with the FBI and the National Guard. What's up with that sound? Oh, I know what that is. There it is. There we go. It's like, why do my lasers sound so weird? There we go. Solved it. Rusty lasers over here.
so, just to conclude, Washington, D.C. should be one of the safest, cleanest, most beautiful places anywhere in the world. It was years ago. We had one problem that was a pretty big problem.
The safest and cleanest.
The radical left got out of control and they started trying to rip down statues. And
I still would love to know what year it was that Donald believes that Washington, D.C. was named safest and cleanest city in the world. Can anybody give me a year on that one? When was Washington, D.C. the safest, most beautiful city?
I said, let's go pass a law real fast. We're going to do it real fast, but we were blocked by the Democrats who do not want safety. Nobody gets it. I don't get it. They don't get it because they can't get votes. I don't know how they can win an election with this, but they don't want safety. And I found an old statute, very old, early 1900s.
Incredibly
that said if you so much as touch or even think about destroying a statue or a monument in Washington, D.C., go to jail for 10 years
you get
with no probation, no anything.
You get the immediate death. Immediate death for touching statues. Thinking about touching statues, that's a crime. Jail immediately.
Immediately, if not sooner.
Illegal. It was slightly different than we have today. Today we have cashless bail. There you get jail 10 years. No curtailed sentence, 10 years. And we took it out. Nobody used it. It was never used because, you know, it's harsh. And you remember they started to rip down the statue of Abraham Lincoln. I said, that's a tough one to rip down. He was pretty good, Pam. I think he was
right,
pretty
Pam.
good.
Pam, you know that
when the
Abraham
ropes started
Lincoln
going
guy.
around Abraham Lincoln to pull him down, Andrew Jackson, others.
Andrew,
and they were heading to the Jefferson Memorial, Thomas Jefferson. They're going to do a big number there.
Everybody got it. What's the beef against Thomas? Thomas.
I signed that statue.
I like to call him Tom.
Immediately. We had it updated. We made it use the
Tom.
same language, all passed by Congress. And I announced it's 10 years in jail.
10 years.
No probation, no anything. 10 years. No
Illegal.
curtail sentence.
No probation, no
touch
anything,
so much
no
as
trial. No due process, just straight to jail.
Immediately, if not sooner.
That's it.
A statue in Washington, D.C. And it was an amazing sight, beautiful sight. Everybody just left. The ropes were hanging around Andrew Jackson, and there were 2 ropes around Abraham Lincoln. They left the rope.
What is he talking?
Everybody just left.
They were in
the
ropes.
last problem we ever had.
And everybody, they left.
That we ever had
And
with the
it's like,
statues. They were going wild.
There were people, they were there, and then they weren't there. The ropes were there, and they continued to be there. Ropes and people, and more people and ropes. I don't know what I'm saying. Why am I here? Pam, can you get in here? Can you chime in on what's happening? Why am I here? What year is it? I forget. I meant to do this in reverse order. Since we were going to talk about statues, I wanted to go this happened on the same day. At least the story dropped the same day that the big balls story dropped. Let's go here. This was also from last week.
Back now with reaction after the National Park Service, following an executive order from President Trump, announced it will reinstall the statue of a Confederate general toppled in Washington during the Black Lives Matter protest. The United Daughters of the Confederacy saying it should be displayed to allow people to form their own opinions, but a local congresswoman says she'll introduce a bill to remove the statue.
This is ridiculous!
So yeah. Some of the statues that the Trump administration is talking about here are the Confederate statues that they are having put back up in the Capitol. The Confederate statues. That's right, the Confederate ones. You know, the people who lost the war, right? The separatists who wanted slavery, or who hated America. Okay, why is the chat highlight showing up? This is very strange. This should be working. Oh, there it's working now. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right, let's go here. This was footage of National Guard troops arriving in D.C. after Donald Trump's declaration of martial law in the Capitol. This is one paycheck you should probably say no to. Just saying. Sam Parker personally caused the Confederacy to collapse with his socialism? Really? Seems like the Confederacy is going strong lately. Some of the stories I've been seeing. Like they're actively suing in a court in Alabama over some monument right now being given context, like like some like oh god, this is I don't know if we watched this story a few weeks ago, like maybe a couple months ago actually. But there's a monument, I think it's in Alabama. This pro-Confederate monument, which I think was built in the early 19th century, in the early 20th century, excuse me. And like at the museum for this monument, there's a plaque which actually contextualizes this monstrosity that's carved into the side of a mountain. And basically the Ku Klux Klan is suing over it. They're like, this isn't fair. How dare you contextualize this?
Help! Help! I'm being repressed!
All right, let's go here. This was later in the day. More clips from Forbes breaking news. This is from 2 days ago. The I gotta say, I feel like Forbes knows what they're doing with this one, but they are outside of an Italian restaurant with Italian music going as these fascists walk through the street. Is that Cash Patel, by the way? Is that Cash? Hold on. No, it's just a guy who kind of looks like Cash Patel. But the the irony is not lost on me.
Help! Help! I'm being repressed!
And look at this fascist takeover. It's disgusting. Watching the Gestapo literally roaming the streets at night. Oh, look at us, we're preventing crime.
Illegal.
Seriously though, that first clip with the Italian opera music going in the background as they walk around, it's just like, it was wild. That is some goddamn Twilight Zone shit right there. Okay. Let's go here. CNN from yesterday. It's been a fun week, hasn't it? Hasn't it, Space Fams? Quite the week. Jesus Christ.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
Federal law enforcement is out again here in Washington, D.C. This comes after President Trump's decision to federalize the police force in Washington, D.C. But this is already causing some community outrage. Watch. This was the scene overnight at a checkpoint along one of the city's busiest streets. Protesters made clear their feelings about the increased federal law enforcement presence. A commander with D.C. police told CNN it was a routine operation. Joining us now is Washington, D.C. City Council member Charles Allen. Charles, thanks so much for joining us. First of all, what do you know about this checkpoint set up on the very popular 14th Street near U Street Northwest here in Washington for those people who know the area? Is that typical for law enforcement in that area?
Well, what's routine is that APD will do, and has been for a number of years, conducting traffic safety checkpoints. That's everything from looking for impaired drivers to looking for outstanding warrants.
Yeah, but
they make arrests occasionally from that. But
we know that that's not what's happening here.
Legal, and we haven't had protests around those because they're largely effective.
Also, why would we need the National Guard to do sobriety checkpoints? Is that a joke? Is it because, I mean, if anything, with Pete Hegseth, I guess with Pete Hegseth on the Washington D.C. roads, maybe it's justified, but only by that measure, where you have a man with a DOD security clearance and access to alcohol.
Where community policing takes place, MPD will even look to check and make sure someone's car seat is installed correctly. So those have been standard for the last several years. They've had good effect around getting at dangerous drivers. What's different is now you've got all these federal law enforcement folks. They don't wear a badge. They don't wear their name. They're covering their faces. And that's very different. And what you see from the community reaction is what I'm concerned about, that federal law enforcement fundamentally changes the dynamic of community policing. They're not trained for it. They're not equipped for it. And it just amps everything up in a way that's very unconstructive and can lead to actually more dangerous situations.
President Trump just a little while ago said crime here in Washington, D.C. is, quote, totally out of control.
Out of control.
His words, I'm quoting once again, worse than ever. What's your response to that?
Very worst it's ever been.
Well, we need to be able to call out the lie where it is. And that's just simply not true. He continues to say it, but it is not true. He's
honestly, the picture that these numbers paint is that crime is going precipitously downward. Oh, down 35% in 1 year, and then in last year to this year down another 26%. That's insane. That's insane. There's no crimes.
That's too much, man.
There's like no crimes happening now. There's like 3 crimes happening in DC.
Where it is. And that's just simply not true. He continues to say it, but it is not true. He's painted this dystopian vision, and it just doesn't track with the facts on the ground. Over the last 2 years, we have driven crime down by about 50% of violent crime. Now, listen, everybody will be the first to say any crime is one too many, and so we still have work to do. We still have progress, but that happens best with the coordination between the mayor, the council, the community, MPD, because that's what's gained and had the gains over the last several years. The federal law enforcement aspect, putting military members on the streets of our city, does not make us safer.
Has the administration been communicative with local officials like yourself about its strategy here?
Oh, I don't know if there really is a strategy. There's been no word from the administration to myself. When I talk to members of the council, we're not hearing anything. And I think that's part of the problem. It's even...
I mean, the strategy that I see, I mean, whatever people are saying here, I don't care. The strategy that I see is Donald Trump trying to normalize his use of the National Guard as a law enforcement apparatus across the country, whether it's in LA or DC. And you know, normalize the use of military force against Americans. Have them, you know, it's a very troubling trend. That's what I see. That's what I see. Now let's go to some of the people that are being negatively affected by all of this. The unhoused. That's right. the DC unhoused community is, of course, being socially cleansed from the area by National Guard and other federal employees, I guess. To where is a valid question. We don't really have an answer to any of that. Some just anywhere else, I guess. So that when people are away, they won't have to see tents sometimes.
Help! Help! I'm being repressed!
I look at it as anti-Christian. I remember the passage of, as you have done unto the least of these, you have done unto me. And the idea that he's targeting us and persecuting us feels wrong to me.
Well, it's just, I haven't known what's next that is a part of normal life at this point. I don't even know how to explain that. That is, you try and make people feel stressed out, and when that's all they know, what are you trying to prove here? That you're a bully? that we created this situation, and now we're telling you that you can't be in the situation we created?
It's a cogent point that homeless man. Society created the situation, now they're just being cast out for being homeless. They're given no viable solutions, no alternatives to the place. They just can't be where they are. Fact is thanks to Republicans, Donald Trump, and the Supreme Court, being homeless is illegal now in the United States, and any municipality can decide unilaterally to just cast out the homeless at will. Which continues this cyclical the buck. Now. Here's more footage of National Guard troops in Washington, D.C. A Humvee parked up on this, what is this right here? I'm trying to remember. I don't know what building this is. But I'm assuming that usually there are Humvees parked there with armed National Guard troops next to them, carrying assault weapons. I wonder what this is all costing at the end of it all. And where the money's coming from. Alright, well, there we go. National Guard. Standing around. Humvees, body armor. Occupying the Capitol, essentially. Look how clean the city looks. Honestly, the city does look really clean. I guess they must have cleaned it up immediately. That must have been the first thing they did, was clean it up, because it looks pretty clean. Yeah. Although I don't know. Oh, this happened yesterday. The destruction of homeless camps. By the way, is audio good for everybody right now? Yeah, and we've been having audio issues. Last two streams we had bad audio. I did a bunch of tests this morning, and the last one I did was good. So I wasn't even thinking about it right now, but let me know if you hear any audio issues in chat. Audio issues of the destruction of homeless encampments. Of course, while all of this is going on, the Trump administration is defunding the, agencies and other programs that are intended to help deal with homelessness and housing insecurity. HUD is getting defunded. Like, I mean, there's just, it is insane. Like, there's a full-on onslaught against the poor right now. Audio is perfect. Awesome. Good. The mic volume is maybe a little quiet. I could turn the mic up a little, a tad. I could, a skosh. All right, let's go here. AP reporter gives tour of closed homeless encampment in D.C.
The city of Washington, D.C., with the Trump administration, are beginning closing homeless encampments in the nation's capital. This skid loader behind me is continuing to pull debris from one of these encampments that was tucked into this set of trees here. You can see mattresses, appliances, all of their belongings have been taken out, but that's not the case for every person who's been experiencing homeless in the district. This entire field behind me had about a half dozen tents. You can see the markings on the grass, the bare spots where these tents used to be, and those people were connecting with social services and hearing about where extra shelter space has been opened up. So the city believes they can do this forceful closure of encampments more humanely than what the Trump administration was suggesting, and the effort will continue.
What's so crazy about these, like, you can see the locations of where these homeless encampments are. They're right next to highways where people are driving by super quickly. They're you know, they're all removed from society too much. You have to almost have to, like, go searching them out, you know, and they don't seem to be harming anyone. But, you know, having to glimpse tents from your car as you're being chauffeured to the Capitol building, it must just be so, just must be so inconvenient.
For about another week or so, as more encampments in the nation's capital will be closed. But of course, some homeless people will still be on the streets, maybe by event, maybe under the awning of a business. So this problem is really hard to erase completely, and advocates want more resources to get these people into more transitional housing, permanent housing. But that voucher money is limited. The DC budget was cut by $1 billion this last year, and unfortunately they weren't able to give more housing resources to folks in need.
Yeah, cutting the budget, not helping at all. Back to the National Guard. Look at this National Guard involved in someone's arrest for some reason. Not sure what this guy was doing. I guess he was being too brown in public. That must be the crime.
Illegal.
Illegal.
Hey, Rose, inform them they can come with us to do it.
Okay, well, there we go. National Guard is seemingly assisting in an arrest for whatever reason. Not sure why they were needed or why this individual was placed under arrest. Let's go back to talking about the homeless. Advocates are concerned about the crackdown on DC's homeless as resources are scarce and people are scrambling to find new places to live.
Well, as federal agents prepare to clear more homeless encampments from the district this week, local advocates and leaders in neighboring local jurisdictions are now raising concerns.
Yeah, some said the president hasn't provided a clear plan on where D.C.'s unhoused residents will go. Others argued that the president's plan does not address the root cause of homelessness and could still make the situation worse. News 4's Walter Morris has the latest details.
You have volunteers who be here in the kitchen.
If you're familiar with Miriam's Kitchen in downtown D.C., you know at peak times this place is packed. Twice a day, Monday through Friday, volunteers serve hundreds of meals to clients, while caseworkers offer important social services.
We're going to be removing homeless encampments.
Days after this announcement from the White House, advocates who work with D.C.'s unhoused population say it's all hands on deck.
People are scrambling. Right? That's what it means. It means people are scrambling, and we're already scrambling to begin with.
Miriam's Kitchen Policy Director Andy Wasenick says their outreach team covers 33 square miles of the district. And this week, they've been working around the clock to try and find shelter for the estimated 800 to 1,000 people living on D.C. streets and connect them with the help they need. But that's easier said than done.
House people, that's the solution to homelessness, not just feeding them, not just putting them in treatment, not just all these things, but like actually putting a roof over their heads.
This is like his issue. Seeing homeless encampments, I don't know, it just triggers something in him that has him believing that our very beautiful city is dirty, which it is not.
Mayor Bowser doubling down on the district's commitment to homeless residents during a virtual town hall Tuesday.
Our folks are going encampment to encampment, tent to tent, to talk to every single person to make sure they make connections.
Of course, the big question is, where will hundreds of homeless people go if they're kicked out of D.C.?
We're preparing to try and support the most vulnerable within our communities, but we have limited resources.
Alexandria city leaders say they'll do the best they can to find shelter for those who end up there, but they need serious financial backup from the federal government.
If they want to push this responsibility to us, then they should also be willing to give us the appropriate resources and funding to be able to address it.
If push comes to shove, obviously we'll have conversations about how, whether we need to open up an emergency shelter space or not.
Montgomery County leaders say they've been busy working through contingency plans to prepare for a possible influx.
We work with individuals who are homeless to try to get family members and others to take them in, including offering financial incentives to those families to take them in, because that's always the best sort of situation that we can find.
Oh, there we go. Homeless people struggling to find new places to live. The agencies and organizations intended to help them are lacking the necessary funds thanks to Republicans and the Trump administration. And though they are doing everything they can to find adequate, if not at least temporary, housing for people who are being affected by this, or having their, their basically what is their homes completely destroyed, like we just saw. Just because they're tents doesn't mean it's not their homes. Okay, the stream is lagging. I don't know why that's happening. I'm gonna pretend it's not happening. I think it's because I was doing something over here and I opened up another browser window. It's kind of crazy how little it takes to cause a little bit of lag on this stream. Okay, I am going to create a goal because we are an hour in. The fully free hour is over. Okay, content goal is started. Usual amount of time, 3 full hours to complete that goal. We also have a galactic deficit goal that is now started. If you haven't seen it, it's in the bottom left-hand corner. Unfortunately, we still are not raising enough money from YouTube and Patreon, and are forced to reach out to space fams like you to consider contributing on Cash App or PayPal, or starting a Patreon membership. All good ways to contribute to the galactic deficit, as we get that money immediately, if not sooner. so we can pay the space and Earth bills. So we can get the on and the internet on here, things like that. Okay. You can also, by the way, you can contribute to the Galactic Deficit and the content goal on YouTube simultaneously. Cash App and all of those things will count directly towards it. So it's really 2 for 1 when you think about it. Okay, let's go here. Shocking footage happened on the DC city streets last night. It actually might have been 2 nights ago.
Like a fucking way! You bitch!
Motherfucker!
Oh! Illegal.
Oh! I'm being repressed! Fucking gun! Yeah!
He cooked him! He cooked him! Free Luigi!
There we go. A man with a sandwich had a bone to pick with the police and decided to
So President
take
Trump
things
has vowed to make
to another level. An on the street food fight. Now the attorney, Janine Pirro is now the acting attorney of the of DC. She thought that this crime of throwing a sandwich rose to a particular level. They are now charging him with a felony of assaulting an officer with a sandwich. With a sandwich. This was her. This was posted yesterday. New York Post.
So President Trump has vowed to make D.C. safe and beautiful again. And as part of his effort to fight crime, he's bringing in our federal law enforcement partners like FBI, ATF, DEA, Park Police, everybody to help the Metropolitan PD fight crime. And the president's message to the criminals was, if you spit, we hit. Well, we didn't quite do that the other night when an individual went up to one of the federal law enforcement officers and started jumping up and down, screaming at him, berating him, yelling at him. And then he took a Subway
How dare
sandwich
he
about
yell.
this big and took it and threw it at the officer.
How dare he
thought
yell.
It was funny.
Yeah,
well, he doesn't
it was
think it's funny today because we charged him with a felony.
Wow.
Assault on a police officer.
Illegal.
And we're going to back the police to the hilt.
Wow.
So there, stick your Subway sandwich somewhere else.
Incredible. And the fact, what's most incredible about this for me is that while people like Janine Pirro come out and is like, look at how much we care about the police, look how much we back the police, and they just don't seem to see the incredible irony that they happen to work for a man who literally first day of his presidency chose to pardon a bunch of people who were literally assaulting the police with all sorts of implements, whether it was barricades or shields or poles, or just, you know, literally stomping them on the ground. Oh, we really care about the police so much that we pardon the people who attack the police. As long as they're attacking the police for us. If they're attacking the police, we are in control of them. That's the actual problem, right? And it shows just how weak this whole thing is. Like the entirety of this, you think about it from beginning to end. A man who was venerated by Republicans, a Doge employee, who calls himself Big Balls, and who we've all been forced to call Big Balls this whole time, attempts to thwart a crime in progress being committed by two teenagers, two children, and that essentially is the Reichstag fight the Trump administration uses to seize control of the Capitol by means of force, by calling in the National Guard and the FBI to patrol the streets. And they are now putting people in jail and charging them with felonies for
illegal.
I mean, this is what is a national emergency. Children taking over the streets and sandwiches being thrown. That's why we need to spend millions of dollars to activate the National Guard and the FBI on the U.S. Capitol. And that's freedom.
Armored vehicle. Driving through Washington, D.C., it's not a parade, at least not an official one. Let's start with this clip. Maybe folks have seen this. He's gone viral as the Sandwich Man. It turns out he is former Air Force, former DOJ. He was basically getting in the face of some of these occupiers of D.C., military occupiers of D.C., and maybe stylistically people have an issue, but I think when you offer an officer like a cup of coffee or a donut or a sandwich, it seems like you're doing a nice thing. Apparently, they took issue with it.
Aren't I a good guy?
Get a sandwich at the wee hours of night.
Exactly.
Seriously.
This is clip number 7.
He went through a lot of. When you think about it, this man is a great patriot. When you think about it, this man is a great patriot. Okay, he went through the process. He went to the subway. He had to stand in line. He had to communicate to the sandwich artist what toppings and what kind of bread he wanted. He had to pay for it, and then had to bring it all the way to these officers. It's a lot of effort that went into this, and I think it's a little ungrateful for them to be so offended by it.
I want to give you food. Are you hungry?
Really Reno 911. It really is.
It is amazing.
They got like 7 guys running after him.
I mean, just a great sense of hospitality. That's DC hospitality for you. You gotta get food and drinks
clear
for folks.
Well, it turns out they were obviously pretty upset because they had specifically requested their bread be toasted. And when the guy shows up, it's not toasted, you get pissed. They charged him with a felony. And a judge threw it out, I guess, yesterday or last evening, basically saying, no, it's not a felony assault. The
judge threw it right in his chest.
No. Exactly. So good for him. And but here is other residents of Washington, D.C. greeting this sort of array of National Guard and federal, prison guards and DEA and FBI, all geared up apparently to hand out traffic violations.
Chat seems to think Sandwich Man is some kind of a hero. I'm likely to agree. The Subway sandwich has just gone up in my book, just by being a part of the situation. That foot long is looking more and more justified at this point.
Or whatnot. Here is watch this clip.
Here's a real cop. He has a badge. He has insignia and his name on his chest. That's a real cop.
Fuck no.
Go home.
Harasses citizens. He's not a real cop.
Eat fresh. Yes, exactly. Eat fresh. Okay, we are lagging our dicks off. Why is this happening? This is ridiculous.
This is ridiculous!
Okay, let's hope the lag stops. I don't know why this is happening. Everything was perfectly fine earlier. And I don't know what the problem is.
As someone who's been booed at work, that sucks.
The community seems very happy to have them there.
That is 2 nights ago, and the size has like tripled of the crowds too, since like last night.
That's awesome. They're out now, just protesting. Now you guys played the Mark Wayne Mullen stuff yesterday, right?
No.
No.
You didn't?
We played we didn't. I don't think that had happened yet. He said he's not afraid. He doesn't buckle himself in.
Oh, we gotta pull that for later in the program. But here is James Comer arguing that Washington, D.C. is just the beginning. And we should say, he said this yesterday on Newsmax, right around the time that Pam Bondi claimed that she had the authority to fire the police chief, to put the head of the DEA in as the acting police chief, and that she could unilaterally decide, after the D.C. City Council had voted to make D.C. a sanctuary city, that she could unilaterally decide it's no longer a sanctuary city. This is in court today, but here is James Comer. He wants to do this all over the place.
We have people mugging people at all hours.
No, why is this happening? Oh my god, the test stream was fine. The last test stream I did was perfectly fine. I did it for like an hour. Now we are lagging again, and there's no good reason for it. Literally nothing has changed. Oh my god. The frame rate is 1 per minute. Yeah, I know. I know, it's 0 frames per second right now. It's not good. It's not good. It's very bad. Well, I think I'm gonna have to restart the stream. I don't know what else to say. There's not a lot of solutions to this that I can think of right now. I mean, I could turn off the soundboard, but I solved this earlier. I solved this earlier. Oh, that'd be very annoying to me. But I'm feeling like I might have to do that. This is terrible. It's just 0 frames. Christ. Here are the options. I could continue the stream right now. I'm fairly certain. I just turned off the soundboard. So we can continue the stream without the soundboard running. But of course that, comes with the fact no soundboard. All right. Some might find that to be a problem. I personally find it to be a problem. Or I could try to restart the stream. Those are our 2 options right now. It's sad but true. Yeah, the soundboard I think is one of the main issues with the lag right now, and I thought I got this. I thought I had this figured out. I did a bunch on this earlier, and it was seemingly doing fine. Clearly, there's more that needs to be done. But I don't want to do that right now. I don't want to do that work right now. That would prevent us from doing the actual stream, and nobody wants that.